Is this not one of the most beautiful big potted plants you have ever seen? And this lovely plant, with anywhere from 1 to sometimes 3 or 4 big red blooms on it, greets me every morning in the dark whenever I pull in on the parking lot to go to work. But it has absolutely nothing to do with what we're going to do or talk about today here. I just wanted to share that moment with you, something I get to enjoy each and every workday morning. You can't be there with me, so I figured I'd bring a little bit of it to you. And now I'm going to bring you some other stuff, like it or not, here on the MT and Me. Welcome back again to the MT and Me. It's pretty obvious that we are still right here where we were for the last video and part of the one before that. At the front end of Pearl, dealing with some battery business. Last time we left the charger on the battery in Pearl, and I think I closed out with an update that we had gotten over 12 volts charged. The battery still wasn't wanting to really hold a charge. Well, I have basically just let this charge stay on it, sustaining it for several days now. And we are back to see what the situation is. I haven't checked it yet. I don't know what the battery voltage is going to be. I can tell you that the charger says it's still charging. It's not over to what they call charge maintained. Ideally, whenever it finishes charging, this charger will automatically switch over to a maintenance type charge, which is what they call a trickle charge. Just keeps enough flowing through the battery to sustain the voltage in it. Well, if it's done that, it's gone back to charging mode. I haven't watched it constantly, so I don't really know what's going on. All I can tell you is it's charging now. So, let's turn it off so that it's not charging anymore. And let's see what kind of voltage we have on this battery. .2 volts, which isn't bad. I think we told you earlier that a battery, normally with a full charge, you want to look at somewhere around 12.5, 12.7. That would be a brand new battery, full charge. 12.2 is not bad at all. We had, 11.5, I think, the last time around we tried this. So I should point out that that's 12.2 volts with no load at all. It's completely disconnected. If we stick that negative terminal back on the battery, last time we immediately started seeing a voltage drop. Let's see what happens this time. Is it going to keep going down? And now it's down to 9. So yeah, we have a very slow voltage drop going on. Now what I want to do next is to take this meter and put it on amperage to look at current and see if we can actually see that voltage drop happening between the battery and then the negative connection here on Pearl. Here's how that's going to work. Let's disconnect that negative terminal again. Okay. So now the battery's out of the circuit. Okay, we're going to put it on a DC amperage reading. Let's see. We want to put the negative on the battery terminal and the positive and we're not seeing any kind of amperage draw at all. Well, that's kind of surprising. Oh, no. I've messed up. I forgot to do one thing. We have to change that connection. Okay, this is going to make a tremendous difference. Oh yeah, there we are. Now we're seeing a 0.2 amp draw. Well, 0.2, so that's 200 milliamps. 203, 204. A 200 milliamp draw on the battery, constant, and that's with nothing turned on. Now, I may be a little off on my figures here, but according to a couple of videos I watched on YouTube University, the average draw with nothing turned on should be maybe 30 milliamps, something like that. Now, granted, this was on a newer vehicle, okay? Not something old like Pearl is. I don't know if that would make a difference or not. But basically, they were saying if you started getting up to 100 milliamps or more on a draw, then you had a fairly serious leak somewhere that was pulling on that battery. And we've got just over 200 milliamps, which, given time, is enough to kill a battery. And of course, this is still without any kind of load. The key is off. As near as I know, everything in Pearl is turned off. So I'm not sure where such a leak might be coming from. However, their method for tracking it down was to put the meter back in line like we were watching to where you could see the draw, and then go to the various fuse blocks on this car they were working on and start pulling fuses until you found something that eliminated the current draw. That way, at least you knew the general department, the circuit, what have you, where your draw was occurring. Now, like I said, this was on a fairly modern car that had 3 fuse blocks, 1 under the hood and 2 on the interior, and probably, I don't know, 50 or 60 fuses. New vehicles have a bunch of fuses. Pearl has 6, maybe. I really don't remember. But you remember that fuse block we went through to check all the fuses underneath the dashboard? The glass cartridge fuses? I think there are 6 of them. So if we do the same thing here, it really shouldn't take too long, should it? So here's what I've done. I have a small clamp and a not so small clamp. You use what you got. We've clamped the negative to the negative terminal, the positive through to the negative connection, and we've taken the wires, run them around so that we can put the meter inside the cab. That way we can look at the amperage reading while we get to the fuse box, which is located under there. Okay, I think you can see the fuse block here and also see our reading that's going on. Let's take one fuse out at a time and see if it makes any difference. That one obviously did not. Next. There again, no difference. We're getting a little fluctuation with that one. I don't think it really has anything to do with the fuse. Alright. 3 more to go. I think we found something. Oh, look at that. What circuit is that? We are going to have to refer to our owner's manual and find out. Alright, I have here my Pearl Bible, 1977 Dodge Van Repair Manual. It also includes Class C motorhome chassis, just like my baby here. And we have complete diagrams of all the electrics, the schematics. That includes the fuse box. The third fuse from the left. It's the one we're looking at, because we started on the right end. 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth one. It is a 20 amp fuse that goes to... No. No. No, there must be a mistake here. It's the fuse for the dome light and the cigar lighter. Seriously. The dome light and the cigar lighter. Neither of which is being used at all. Ever. Since we got Pearl. The dome light's completely removed. And the wiring is isolated. The cigar lighter did work at one time when I first put a battery in her. And you're telling me that circuit? It's got to be something else on that circuit causing a problem. Because neither one of those items is active. Neither one could be doing anything at all. But that's what that fuse goes to. So I guess we'll take a little closer look at it. Okay, so let's recap what we've learned here. This fuse was in the circuit causing all the trouble. Alright, it's the fuse for, of all things, the dome light, which has been taken out for a long time, and the cigarette lighter, which has never been used. Not since we've gotten Pearl. And never would be used. Well, not to light anything to smoke anyway. Might plug something in there to power it up. But we haven't even done that yet. So I don't know why that circuit was giving a constant drain. But without this fuse, it's dead. It doesn't do it. So maybe the battery won't die hooked up in Pearl at this point. There's only one way to find out. Put her all back together with the charge that's on her right now and see what happens. let's look at battery voltages again. I'm just so paranoid about them. I just want to check again. Now this is unloaded. I haven't hooked the battery back up yet. Voltage is down to 11.99. Just under 12 volts. You know what? I'm going to go with that for now. Let's put the negative terminal back on. Actually tighten it down. And we have the same voltage, and it's not changing. 11.99 and steady. Oh, I'm liking that. I like that. Okay. You think we should put the charge back on it? Just see if we can get it back up to where it was. I mean, it will charge in circuit like this. Should, anyway. Let's put it on there for a little bit. See if it makes a difference. Well, it says it's charging. I guess we'll let it charge for a while. See what happens. One thing that's not going to happen is I'm not going to stand here and watch it charge. Got other stuff to do. So this is where I'm going to leave you for this week. Thank you so much for watching and seeing me score a small victory in the Pearl repair. Hey, we fixed a battery problem, so I'm hoping that way we can now progress towards putting that battery to work, maybe getting that motor to turn over a little bit, and see if everything else is going to function as well. All right, keep your fingers crossed. Join us again next time, see what happens here on the MT and Me. Till then, below you'll find a place to subscribe if you haven't already. Give me the thumbs ups. And check out the mtandme.com, buy me a coffee, and find all of our other reference materials for this show and any other show. And speaking of other shows, you know, we're coming up on number 200, so that's going to be something special here in a few weeks. But you know what that means? That means we have a backlog of almost 200 programs that you can just peruse through at your convenience here on this marvelous little feature called YouTube. Check them out. Some of them are downright interesting, if I say so myself. Join us again next week, right here. We'll see what happens next with Pearl. Unless something blows up between now and then. And that could happen. Let's hope not. But it could happen. Anyway, I love you, Nomies. Thanks once more for all of your support. I'm Russ. We will talk